The Parsha Podcast. Episode Ha'azinu. Power to the people.
Hey guys, who are we calling up for this week's podcast?
Could we bring Yeshua, please? I'm kind of nervous about being in the Parsha Podcast group. I feel like I'm too little for such a big mission. Maybe I can't do it.
Yeshua would probably have good advice. He had to take over from Moshe Rabbeinu.
I'm all for it. This week's Parsha says to ask the Nevi'im and Chachamim when we have questions like this. That would include Yeshua.
Okay, if we can all agree, I'll call up Yeshua.
Hello. I guess technology have finally figured out how to reach people from another time and place. Wonderful!
Yes! Welcome, Rabbi Yeshua. This is the Parsha Podcast, and Chayolim around the world are listening. Basia has a question for you.
Yeah, I was getting nervous about being on the Parsha Podcast, teaching Chayalim about the Parsha. There are so many people in the world. Do you really think I can make a difference? I mean, did you ever feel hopeless when you had a huge mission to lead the Yidden?
No way! Because I was at Matan Torah. You know what happened at Matan Torah?
Hashem chose the Yidden to be his special nation.
Exactly! There were so many other nations in the world. Some way bigger and more powerful than us. But Hashem decided that Dafka the Yidden are the right ones for his special mission.
The mission to spread Hashem's Torah to the whole world?
You Chayalim know your stuff. Yes. And when Hashem chose us to do it, he gave us a special keiches to do it successfully.
And no one can mess with Hashem. We just said that in Rosh Hashanah, Hashem is the king of all kings. That means there's nothing more powerful than him.
Yes, and we say it with a simcha, because we know it means that the Yetzer Hara has no power over us.
But I don't feel like my Yetzer Hara has no power over me. He seems pretty strong sometimes.
Yeah, like mine almost got me to give up on my Parsha Podcast already.
So here's a tip. Whenever Yetzer Hara dares to start speaking up, first tell him that his powers were taken away when Hashem chose a Yidden to be his people. Then go right on with your mission, and you'll have to sit there and watch helplessly.
Sounds like a good trick to me. Does it work for you?
It works for all Yidden. In Parsha Ha'azinu it says, Hashem badad yanchenu. Hashem guided the Yidden alone. And then, Ve'ein imay el necher. There were no enemy powers with them.
That means the Yetzer Hara had no power over the Yidden then?
No power then, and no power now. So long as we're fighting for Hashem's mission, we're invincible. No one can beat us.
Whoa. Okay. Thanks, Yeshua. I'll always remember that I'm part of Hashem's chosen people. No more giving up on Hashem's missions.
Wonderful. So Chayalim, think about it. How can you help yourself remain strong against Yetzer Hara?
And that's another fabulous episode of the Parsha Podcast. Rabbi Yeshua, thank you for joining us. We'll be sure to think the question over. See you all Chayalim next week.